Thanks for joining me once again. I hope your day is going well. I have a special video today with an activity involving basic automotive maintenance that everyone should be informed about. Today I will show you the steps it takes to complete a basic oil change and replacement of automotive air filters. It is recommended that you get your oil changed every 3,000 miles. It is probably cheaper to take your car somewhere and get this work done, but I enjoy the work myself just so I get some outside air and continue to use my motor skills in my older age. Check your car's owner manual to understand the volume and type of engine oil needed for this job. The year, make, and model of the car we are working on today is an old reliable 2008 Honda CRV. The materials for this can be purchased at an auto store for about $50. The tools and materials for this project include 5 quarts of high mileage engine oil. 4.4 quarts of 5W20 is required for my car according to the owner's manual. Oil filter for the car you're working on. Air filter for the car you're working on. And cabin air filter for the car you're working on. Car ramps. A socket wrench with sockets. Oil filter tool. Paper towels. Oil change container. Old oil container. Funnels, gloves, jack wedges, and a piece of cardboard. My car has a nice indicator that lets you know that it's time to change your oil. Slowly drive your vehicle up the car ramps until the front tires are securely in the wheel divots. You may need another person to verify that the car is properly in place. Once the car is properly on the ramps, put the car in park and apply the emergency brake. Also, pop the hood while you're down there. Apply the car jack wedges behind the back tires. This process will ensure the car is securely in place so that it is safe to work on. Place the cardboard and engine oil change receptacle under the oil pan bolt. It is now time to take off the oil pan bolt to begin draining the engine oil. Locate the oil pan bolt by following the arrow at the bottom of the oil pan. My vehicle has a very helpful engraving on the bottom of the pan that contains a reference arrow pointing to the engine drain bolt. Here's a tip to all you Honda CRV owners with the same generation of my car. Loosen the oil pan bolt first, but don't take it all the way out yet. After the oil bolt is loosened, loosen the oil filter. After the oil filter is loosened, take out the bolt and be careful not to drop the bolt into the oil change receptacle. After most of the oil has drained and flow becomes to a trickle or drops, you can now remove the oil filter. Dump the excess oil inside the oil filter into the receptacle and then dispose of it. I like to use the box from the new filter as the old oil filter disposal container. While the oil is draining into the receptacle, go to the top of the car and remove the cap where you add the engine oil. Refer to your car's documentation or inquire online where the oil cap is located on your car. It is usually labeled with an oil icon, as it is on my car. If there is dirt or debris around the rim of the oil addition port, carefully clean it off with a rag or paper towel. Next, I use this opportunity to flow a very small amount of brand new clean oil through my engine. As you pour the new oil into the system, you will be able to hear and see it exit through the oil pan drain. As the oil is still trickling out of the system, I use this as a multitask opportunity to replace the engine air filter. The engine air filter can probably be cleaned out a few times to prolong its life, but in a dusty climate like ours, I prefer just to replace it when I change the oil. Refer to your documentation or research the location of the air filter in your car for this step. Once located, remove the clips or screws that secure the air filter cover. Sometimes you may have to fully remove the cover, but in my vehicle, I'm able to remove this part without having to take the whole cover off. Swap the used air filter with the fresh new air filter. The filter usually only has one way to be installed. If the cover is given difficulties of being reinstalled, you may need to flip the air filter over and try to apply the cover. Once the filter is installed, secure the clips or screws back onto the cover. You now have finished replacing the car's air filter. The air filter installation should have given ample time to let the engine oil completely drain. The new oil filter can now be prepped for installation. The gasket to the new oil filter will need to be lubed up for installation. Your finger is an excellent tool for this job. If you don't want to use your bare finger, you can protect it with a rubber glove. Install the oil pan bolt and new oil filter at the bottom of your car. You need only to hand tighten the oil filter about 1/4 to 1/2 turn after the part has been snugly tightened to the engine. Refer to the instructions on the oil filter for this step. Tighten the oil pan bolt as well. Be sure not to over tighten or break these parts on installation. Refer to your car's owner manual if you want to find the proper torque pressure of the oil pan bolt if you prefer to use a torque wrench on it. Using an oil funnel, carefully add the new oil to the engine. Use extreme caution not to overfill or spill the oil all over your engine area. Be sure to make periodic checks to the amount of oil you're adding. This can be done by monitoring the level of oil left in the oil container. Once satisfaction is reached with the amount of oil added, check for leaks below the car and then start the car and let it run for a bit. Remove the jack wedges behind your rear tires and release the parking brake and slowly drive the car off the ramps. I like to let the car run for a few minutes. This is another excellent multitasking opportunity. If applicable, I like to use this time to replace the car's cabin filter. Not all cars come with a cabin filter. Be sure to refer to your owner's manual to inquire about it. In my car, the cabin filter is located behind the glove box. To access, press the sides of the glove box to fold the compartment down toward the floor. Once open, you will now be able to see the location of the cabin filter. The filter carriage contains a tab on the side that needs to be pressed in order to slide out. Press the tab on the carriage and pull it out to access the filter. Be sure to pay attention to the airflow reference guides on both carriage and new filter. After swapping the old filter with the new filter, reinsert the cabin filter carriage into its slot and push it till it clicks. The glove box can now be returned to its original functioning position by swinging it up and pushing it back to place. You should hear a click and the glove box should stay in place. The new cabin filter is now fully installed. When the engine cools down, make periodic checks to the engine oil level and add more if necessary. You can also use this time to prepare the used engine oil for disposal. I prefer to utilize an old oil container and funneling the used engine oil into it. Once all the old oil is added, I usually bring it to the nearest auto store for recycling. If applicable, the oil service indicator can now be reset. In my 2008 Honda CRV, the indicator can be reset the following way. Scroll through the odometer status screens by pressing the button on the bottom right until you reach the oil status screen. This will usually show a percentage, but in my example, it shows that I've surpassed my oil change indicator by negative 278 miles. Once the oil status is reached, press and hold the button. You will see a different screen that says Oil Life. Turn the button until the oil life is blinking. Press the button once again, and now you should see the oil change status blinking. Press and hold the button until everything resets. The service light indicator should go away as well. Your oil life is now at 100% and you're ready to go. I usually take my car for a spin around the neighborhood after I complete an oil change. It works out the kinks and lets the excess oil burn off the engine parts. Congratulations! You now know how to do a basic oil and filter change to your car. If you follow these basic steps, you should be able to change oil on your vehicle without the assistance of a mechanic. I hope this instructional video will be able to assist you as an excellent reference to your basic automotive maintenance projects. Thank you and have a nice day.